Hello and good afternoon, good morning, or whatever time of the day it is that you decide that you're going to be watching this video. This is Sunday, October 23, and we are getting ready for one of the biggest weeks of the year, which is major tech reporting. It's going to be huge, and Friday was huge as well. As you saw there, the Dow closed up 2.75%, the NQ 2.59%, the ES 2.63%, and the Russell 2000 2.38% on Friday. We had one Green Friday in August, one Green Friday in September, and yesterday, as I was suspicious about it, we got not only a green close on Friday, we went over 100 points from the lows of the day on the SPX to close above the range that we use to double your money in less than a month doing our SPX spreads. I behoove everybody to please look into these SPX spreads that we are doing. I will double your fucking money in less than a month. I will bet, considering the way that we're able to get 20% every day, I will double your money in a week. So let's get to this because Friday was unreal, blew through everybody's volume profiles. Every bear had to stick their finger up their ass and make sure their brains didn't come out. And here we go into one of the biggest weeks that we are going into, and that is Major Tech Week. On Monday, nothing, flat, donut, nothing to be worried about. That's the way they do Mondays. On Tuesday, everything gets started. You got UPS, General Motors, Coca-Cola, the main items on Tuesday morning. And then on Tuesday afternoon, it kicks off. We got Microsoft, then we got Google. Coming on Wednesday, you got Boeing. Same setup every single time when you get into earnings, the same group, same days. Wednesday, you got Boeing in the morning. Nothing else very exciting after that. Wednesday afternoon, it used to be important. Now it doesn't mean anything. Meta, Facebook, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be zero, nothing. Facebook is done, finished. It is the place to run ads because it's not only Facebook that runs ads, they do run ads under another name, under a multiple number of profiles, similar like Google. So, therefore, yes, it is still pertinent, but it is garbage. It's not what it used to be. Shopify on Thursday morning, McDonald's, Caterpillar, MasterCard, not a trade, but something to look at. And then on Thursday afternoon, you get the big kahunas. You got Apple and you got Amazon. Then come on Friday, which used to not matter really, but now you got ExxonMobil and Chevron reporting on Friday. And, considering the way that oil is and the way that gasoline products, and we've been looking at Exxon for a trade, first time ever it closed above that 104 level on Friday. There's definitely some meat on the table when it comes to these oil and gas companies. So Friday is going to matter as we go into the end of the month. Going to go into the charts in a minute. Going to go over a couple of things really quick before we go into that. You got to see this, man. China was supposed to report their data last week, and every single day it was getting delayed as they were holding their big, People's Party meeting during the entire week. Yesterday, Xi Jinping lets all the reporters come in. As soon as the reporters come in, he ousts the former fucking chair, the former president, Xin Jiaotu, who you're going to be seeing everywhere, all over Twitter. He literally has him picked up and escorted. You can watch it on Twitter. It's absolutely amazing. Hey, dude, get up. And he's sitting right next to him. Hey, dude, get up. Come on, get up, get your things, get the fuck out. Get out. You're out of the club. Huge. Come over here on the UK with Liz Truss, 44 days. She's gone. Boris Johnson is looking to make a bid to come back, and he has more than 100 people that are backing him. So again, these are your politics. The other one, I couldn't find the video of Donald Trump hitting the golf ball and it hits Joe Biden on the head and he falls off, the animated GIF. Fantastic GIF. I'll share it in the chat room. I've shared it with UT Miner earlier in the week. Uh, Joe Biden has said he is going to be running for president in 2024. So again, these are your three politics: the 1, 2, 3, UK, China, US, all of it wrapped up. Come in here, and here we go into apologize for being on the top, not being on the bottom. Where we are right now for the SPX, because again, we do cover the SPX quite detailed because the SPX is the main torso of the body. Your NASDAQ, QQQ are your legs. The Dow Jones is your strong arm. The Russell 2000 is your weak arm. And your torso is the SPX. And it's tradable every day. SPY is only tradable 3 days a week, like QQQ and the IWM. But the SPX, daily options to be traded. We are collecting money every single day. Every single day. And I'll show you in a minute that we're doing it. Every day we're collecting money on this. And again, this is why we stick with it. I color code mine because I don't want to have to think and look because everything starts looking, exactly the same. Reds, 3700s. We've had two closes in the 3700s since we fell out at 3800 over there, up at 3470, 3744. First green Friday we had right there, plus 87 points from the previous close, 95 points from the open close, and 110 point range day. Wow. I mean, wow. And what we're getting here, again, I color code this in red. 25 is when we were closing greater than 25% from the all-time highs. Greater than 25% on the low of the day, greater than 25% from the year-to-date high, meaning also, obviously, your all-time high. Year to date, boom, all-time highs, same thing, more or less the same, but again, I do track it. We are now within 22% of the all-time highs being down. So, as I have said, how we now have 23 closes below the bear market level, I would undoubtedly be planning to see plus 38.55 appearing this week. This week, 38.55, and then from 38.55 being it would be a new high of the week or high of the month, 38.07, we should then be encouraged to be challenging that 3,900. I've gone over before the SPX ranges. We're only 300 points for this month, 315 points for the month of October. We were 535 over there in September. 370 was our smallest month, and that was there over in August. So, again, we're up 4% almost for the month. I should and would be encouraging everyone to be expecting to see that bear market level be traded on. I'll show you it on SPY, but on the SPX, 38.55 is the number to have in your mind, and that's where we're going with this. So again, coming back over here onto the SPX sheets and onto the spreads. And again, September 29th, I turned 50. My expiration date is past due now. So I'm in more motivated than I ever was before to bring as many people into a money making system that is consistent, that grows, so that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do with your life, and at the same time be able to afford to pay it forward and do something right so that you can actually help others and not be a selfish bastard like 99% of the fucking world is. Maybe 98%. Red coded is what I use for when we breach those levels. This minus 100% trade back on October 14th, when I was being very cocky, you can see it in the spread room, very cocky about the trade, it did not work. It did not work from the moment that we started that trade. It did not work. And that was exactly why I said, hey guys, we've been on a good streak, but this is one of those times when you finally get that kick in the teeth and you say, hey, I need to stick to, the guidelines, and the guidelines are what they are, and they're still going to produce 45%, 11%, 8.7, 7.5, 14, 14 on average. Okay. On average, we're making 54% on average on the calls, 37% on average on the puts. And it's not that we're not making money on the puts, we're making more money on the calls. It's that we have been in a fail procedure for, the last, what, call it the entire time this has been running, 4 weeks, 3.5 weeks. We've been in a fail procedure where, okay, come up here and fail, come up here and fail. We just put in the lows of the year over there on October 13th. So again, it's why we weren't taking that much risk trading the puts versus trading the calls. But as you can see, they're pretty much average. We've done 12 calls, we've done 12 puts. On Friday, when we had that little bit of a warning sign prior to me taking off, was, hey, this the dollar's collapsing here, guys. The VIX is falling apart. And as you saw there, we broke through what should have been the upper level of 37.37. We busted through that and went up there to 37.57, 37.52. And again, 100-point range on the day. It happens. It happens. It happens. It happens. Individually, I will speak with those that have asked about how to mentally manage being in these trades. Somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, I missed the morning. What can I do?" And I'm like, "Don't do anything. You're forcing it." But, wanted to be encouraged and, wanted to get that trade in, had to get that trade in. I was like, "Hey, man, you go ahead and do 37.50, 37.55 and hope." And obviously didn't work. So take in the ability that these trades are here every day. Every day. If you miss the morning, so what? Fuck it. You got 252 days in a year. So again, 54% on average, 37% on average. You do the math on how you would go into this and start looking at it and say, you know what? Holy shit. If I make 20% 5 times, I'm going to double my money. If I make 25% 4 times, I'm going to double my money. If I make 50% 2 times, I'm going to double my money. If I make 10% 10 times, I'm going to double my money. I'm doing this calculating, looking at 5%. That's all I'm trying to really get targeted and focused. But if there's meat on the table, then yeah, we're going to go and get it. We're going to take it. And still, we're not taking the whole cow. We're taking slices of it and cooking it and having a nice piece of steak. Apologize to the vegans, apologize to the vegetarians. But again, the whole concept of it, and it brings me to tears to try and tell it because it hits so deep at home for me because I've been out here for 16 years and I've had multiple relationships and I've heard their stories. I remember the one, she wasn't able to have flip flops to go to school because her sister was older than her and her sister got the flip flops. She had to walk to school barefoot. And it wasn't just walking to school, it was literally walking through a bunch of fucking hills and mountains and shit where there's goats and all kinds of other things to be able to go to fucking school. And the reason why kids went to school was so that they didn't have to go and do stuff like collecting plastic bottles and other things for their fucking lazy ass fucking parents. So, again, it's the reason why I give 100% of the membership money that comes in to the club. 100% goes out to put these kids into better situations. This one went viral because the kid, he's using McDonald's fucking lights so that he can do his homework. I see this every single day that I go outside of my house. I don't even need to go outside of my subdivision, and it's there in front of me. Kids out there collecting cardboard boxes, collecting plastic bottles. You know, I don't like seeing people leave. I know that people want to quit. I know that people want me to magically make money for them without them having any ability and knowledge. I'm going to be wrong once in a while. And, if I'm going to be judged on that, then fuck it, go somewhere else. Somebody else will give you the magic blowjob. I do the best that I can. And now, having done this for 27 years and been dealing with you guys for 10 years, I think that we're doing this fucking right with these SPX trades and once in a while going out and trading something else because, again, it works. But anyway, go back to this futures up on the upper Keltners. Just got the futures to overbought. You did not get the indexes overbought on the 1 hours, barely overbought on the 15 minutes on the indexes. And again, over on the 4 hour, which is the big kahuna, it's bullish, but it's not overbought. And when we come over here and we start looking at these individual stocks, there's a whole lot of movement that needs to take place before anything becomes confirmed bullish. Here's Amazon looking at it 30-day. 30-day includes where we were when that CPI data came out in September, and then we just had that big drop. So here we are on Amazon, looking a lot better, getting back over to this trend line, which is it's a trend line for me because it's the lows from Donald Trump and it's the lows from December of 2018. And even though we're looking at a 60-minute time frame and it's not 100% accurate, it's pretty accurate to give you an idea that it's trying to get back up under that big support level right there. We came right down here to the COVID highs as we hit that low there on October. And here we are. We got a gap here to fill. We've got a gap here to fill. And then we've got the big CPI gap. Amazon's on Thursday. We'll look over here on Apple, AAPL, and Apple. Very similar situation that we've got here, but very less bullish than everything else. Apple closed above its bear market levels at 147.10 on Friday, fractionally above it, but it did close above 20% from the all-time highs. You got a gap over here that obviously needs to be filled, and then you've got your big gap over here from the CPI data. And again, I wouldn't be planning on seeing these CPI numbers get hit up here, meaning this level up here off of earnings, but I definitely would not be looking at this being a whole, the bottom going to fall out and breaking down below lower lows like you had on Tesla. Apple on Thursday, Amazon on Thursday. Tesla, since I mentioned it, going to go over here and look at it because Tesla's just, I mean, it's down on the bare bottom lows down here at this 208 level. Bare bottom, but Tesla, God, come on. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps down here to be filled to the upside. Just around 50% from the all-time highs, 50% from the COVID lows right here at 220. You got a lot of room to the upside over here on Tesla. And again, those guys that have really embraced this whole, selling credit spreads, I would undoubtedly, and I'm going to alert it out there, like I did last week with selling that 195 200 spread, I'd sell this fucking put spreads on Tesla and ride it for the week. So again, Meta not meaning anything. Microsoft, I don't have this chart updated. I don't have it updated for my likings. I still have to do the gap drawings. I haven't done that. I apologize. But back above this 232.86 is very significant for me that it has found its support levels. And again, once we can get a breakup over here above 250, we can start discussing 280, 270 as we go into the later part of the year. Boeing, not really that big of an advocate, but I do have a very detailed description and very long history with Boeing, as everybody remembers that major run that we had a couple years back. Boeing looking really good, came right down to major support levels. And again, you got a lot of work to get done, but I would definitely be looking for somewhere around that 148 as earnings come out on Wednesday. The big ones are Google, that I have been table pounding for the last couple of days. And Google, again, big little dip over here down below 100 and crawling its way back. And I am suspecting a move up to that 107 level as we get earnings coming out on Tuesday. Again, suspecting, but why I'm putting out on that call spread where you're risking 31 cents, even less on Friday if you took it. 31 cents was on Thursday, to be able to make 69 cents. It's an over 200% win. So, exposed properly, well worth taking the chance on that, because again, you've got a high over here at 103.50 or something, 103.47. And any kind of pressure on that 103.47 come Tuesday, you're undoubtedly going to be looking at that trade being a very nice one. What was the other one that was coming out on Tuesday? I forget the big dogs. Tuesday. Oh yeah, Microsoft. So Microsoft, Boeing, Amazon, Shopify, McDonald's, Caterpillar, Exxon, Chevron. Everybody looks good. Like I said, everybody is ready, looking quite well for it. So what we're going to do here is we will go in and, again, 30-day on SPY, right back here above that Brexit election lows from 2016, right up on that trend line of Ben. What a lot of guys don't see, but on October 13th, when we came down and we posted those lows on October 13th, we came right down and hit the 50 retracement to COVID. And that was why I was talking about 35.05 for a couple of weeks over there on the SPX. We came right down there, hit that 50% retracement from COVID, and you've seen this, 8% rally off of that, and we're heading into the biggest week of the year. Here, 379.81 break line, break above 379.81 on SPY. We're looking at that plus 384 to get above that bear market level, test that 389.92, 390 call it level, and then you've obviously got that big gap from the CPI up there above. QQQ. Now, again, understand with these guys that are reporting this week, that is 40% of the QQQ weight is going to be reporting this week. So if you're trading QQQ, you are going to be trading very expensive premiums this week, even on SPY. But you are going to be trading extremely expensive on these QQQs and holding them overnight with any one of these reports being flat or slightly down. You're really going to eat premium if you're holding these QQQs overnight. So you want to be very limited in your exposure as to what you plan on holding anything on QQQ overnight. We've hit our 275 level twice this week. What we're looking at now is we've got a gap here to be filled right above 279, and the real pressure is that 286 level. 286 is your 50 retracement from the COVID lows, so 286 is undoubtedly going to be the extreme blow-off ultimate upside that we could be looking at sometime this week with the earnings. IWM, not much. Very, very weak over here on IWM. I don't know very many people that are trading it. I know a couple of people that traded on the futures, but very weak over here on the IWM, not really doing too much. But again, you've got this major trend line here, which is coming from 2014 and 2015, and that should be approached at some point as we get into this week, the first week of November, up here around that 177 level. And lastly, I will bring you over to the VIX, which the VIX is holding that 30, man. It's holding it, but you're letting it go ever so slightly, ever so slowly, letting that VIX go. And again, we get a break under this 2884 and a close under that 2884. We have a very strong chance that we are beginning the rally that we are looking for to get the SPY back into the 390s, pressuring that 400. Same with the SPX. And like I say, my Thanksgiving, Christmas idea on the SPX is up in that 4,200 level. Detailed chart here, so obviously very apologetic for what I'm talking about because it's got so much detail in it. But yep, I am looking for something up in this level that we were up here into August, up into this range over here of around 4,150 to 4,300 is where I'm expecting we're going to be as we're going into Thanksgiving, Christmas time, which is why I've been pushing for those that need a little bit of patience to be looking over there at the December or even now at the January calls, which, Jesus, man, on those January calls or the December calls on Friday, where were they? Well, those 3720s were insane. I mean, 350, 3740. But here is a look. 221216 call 400, because I've had somebody who has asked me about this specifically, and I gave the alert to them that they were right around 350. And you see here, 350 ran up to $6. These are the December 400 calls on SPY. So, again, you've got a lot going on for you and a lot in advantage for you with what we are able to provide. Again, come into this chat room, go into the SPX spreads room, get an idea of what's going on over there. And again, if you're looking at your trade and saying, 20% is fantastic, 20% is going to be there for you all day long. And if you want to stick to just trading the options straight up on buys, buying calls and buying puts, again, I'm never going to let that go. I'm not going to, shun away from it, but you're going to have a much better success rate and you are going to grow your account much faster, much safer if you embrace these spreads and take them on. And I tell you guys, it's just one of those things that you're going to have to make the adaptation to and start to appreciate, because I will double your money in less than a month. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the football, enjoy the baseball, enjoy the gardening, enjoy the beautiful weather that you guys have. I'll see you in the chat room on Monday.